Wow. Good evening and welcome.
Word up.
What's going on? Molly
How's
was
it
making
going?
fun of me. She was like, let me guess how you're going to open this one up with howdy, howdy, howdy. She's got it memorized. I'm going to let her open it up next time. Let her run the show.
It seems like it's been a while since I've been on a live. I missed the last one we did. I was like feeling sorry for myself. What's up, Nick? Lloyd?
We got folks hopping on already. That's good. We got some comments on there. Nicholas Beltran and Lloyd Hardy. What's going on, sir? We got 8 watching. So if you guys are watching, drop a comment below in the comment section and then let us know who's watching.
Hey, Frizzy says howdy, Bailey.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. No, today's going to be a good live. We're going to talk about some upcoming stuff and kind of go through some order of events that we have planned for this evening, and then address some of the quick changes that were made. Howdy, Evan and Doug. But this shouldn't be too long of a show. We'll just kind of go over a quick recap and then what to expect for. This is the last month, right? We got one more month off, and then we're going to jump into our season in October. So today's the last day of August, and we jump into September. So that's 6 weeks. We got 6 weeks till our first event. Robert is watching from the U.S. Virgin Islands in St. Thomas. Must be nice.
Awesome. That is awesome.
It's a good spot for Robert. Let him chill out for a little bit.
I know.
I saw some pictures of Robert on Facebook. It didn't look like him. He didn't have none of his facial hair. He doesn't skinned it all off.
Really? It must have been for his Virgin Islands trip.
That's it. That is it. Well, I'll be right back.
Yep, no worries. Yeah, we'll get started here in a couple minutes. Just waiting for some folks to jump on. It's getting hot outside. Hey, gentlemen, and Bailey. Wow, David. Wow.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave would have been proud of us up at Gunnersville. We were slaying the little Debbies. I never caught so many little Debbies in 30 minutes in my life.
Yeah, Lloyd, I think they can keep Robert. I agree. But yeah, no, Gunnersville was fun. It was hot. It was really, really hot, and I doubled up a couple times on a jerkbait, and both fish combined probably were about 20, 21 inches. So I was thinking about taking a picture of them on the board.
Just stacking them. We probably should have done that. Just call one because they were catching them so fast. We could have stacked like 3 on the board and equal by. I could have filled up my yellow catch board, my carbonate.
This feels
okay.
Yeah, no, I caught good fish the first day of practice, and then the next couple days of practice, I found two really good areas that held a lot of fish. I caught like upwards of like 20 to 35 fish on Wednesday or Thursday, and then Friday I caught a ton of fish, and then Saturday we went to that same spot, and I mean we caught them cast after cast, but they all were 13.5 inches.
Yeah.
So I caught a couple, but I mean it was bad. We had to contend with some other boaters. That was a whole nother story I'm not going to mention here on live.
Hey, he came in so close to us, like no joke. We probably could have read his fine print on his rod. I'm pretty sure his lure rating on his spinning rod was like a 16th a quarter ounce.
let's just say he did not like the words that I had to say for him. But
I mean, Chris was very professional and nice.
yes.
Hey, but Dave, we'll talk about it offline, but I'll have to show you the new dink bait. The new rig I started fishing up at Gunnersville, it'll spank some dinks, you know. You might catch crappie on it.
And Lloyd, you love Gunnersville. I don't know about in the summertime, the amount of grass and the eel grass that was just uprooted and floating on top of the water was miserable, to say the least. It's like 116-degree feel-like temperature when we were up there, and it was a pain to navigate.
Don't paddle a pro angler through a half a mile of eelgrass mats. Never felt like I was going to pass out in the water until Friday before the event.
Well, up underneath the eelgrass was hydrilla. So not only were you fighting hydrilla, but you also had the eelgrass mats.
Well, I mean, hydrilla would have been fine. That eelgrass on the PA just catches on the nose and just folds around, and it's like 100 pounds. Yeah.
I broke my pedal drive, my 360 pedal drive. So, all right. Well, we got 11 folks on here watching. So a couple things that we're just going to address here this evening. Todd, he's going to be showcasing some do's and don'ts as far as photo submissions goes for this year. So we'll have some visuals for you guys on what not to do and what needs to be done to eliminate your chances of getting a fish DQ'd or getting inches deducted off of your fish submission. So we're going to hit that this evening. We're going to talk about one of the rule changes that we put a post on. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Where was I saying? Oh, we were going to talk about one of the rule changes that we put on our members only page about pre-fishing. We'll address that. The tribe has spoken, the club has spoken, and we will address where that rule change will go into effect. And then we're going to talk about some sponsorship stuff. Our upcoming monthly that opens tomorrow on Fishing Chaos, and kind of how that's going to work moving forward for the remainder of the season. And then open it up to questions that you guys may have. I know there's been a lot of questions on that I've been getting through email and been addressing them right away. So if you guys have any questions or new to the club, definitely post in comment sections below. Me, Sean, and Todd will do our best to answer those questions. But first things to address is the FKBT September monthly is open on Fishing Chaos. I think there's like 1 or 2 members that have signed up already for this month.
I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, so what I'll go ahead and do, as of right now, these are not official results at all. There's been 11 anglers this month that competed in our August monthly. 165 fish were caught, and Doug Wilson just increased his lead with a 21 3/4 that he just caught. So Doug Wilson was the winner of the last month's challenge. He's at 214 inches and a quarter. Evan Fracasso is in second with 205 and a half, and I'm in third with 200 and a quarter. Mind you, Doug has the biggest fish as well with a 24 3/4 caught. So no longer.
Good.
Huh?
Said a stud.
Yeah, so he not only is he number one, but he also is number one in big bass right now as well. And you have 40 or 51 minutes left to upload your fish to knock him off the leaderboard. So I don't think that's going to happen. So congrats, Doug, on a commanding victory in August, one of the hottest months of the year. You put on a beating for sure. So keep that up. Again, for those of you that are interested in this monthly challenge, again, it's open. So anybody can join. You do not have to be a member. This is the last month where you do not have to be a member to participate in these FKBT monthly events. So definitely, and the registration cuts off the last week of the month. So you can register all the way up until the last week of the month for those monthly events. So if you guys are out there fishing any lakes and any public lakes in Florida, you guys can participate and try to win some extra money that way. But we appreciate everyone's support in these monthlies. I thought there's going to be a little bit more people that were going to sign up and participate in those. So hopefully, starting in October, we'll get a lot more participation in that. So those tournaments will have higher payouts as well. So winner should have to share what lake they were on. So a quick update on the tournament series for the monthlies. Starting in October, the only lakes that are eligible to be fished or eligible to submit fish in for those opens are going to be lakes that are on our schedule. So we will be providing that list of lakes to the judges, and they will be the ones that will be monitoring that and making sure that the fish you're submitting to those monthly opens are, in fact, in eligible waters. That goes pre-fishing, right? We talked a little bit about pre-fishing, and this will give you guys the opportunity when you're out pre-fishing those lakes to submit those fish and kind of encourage you guys to go out there and pre-fish some of those lakes ahead of time for a chance to win a little bit more money. So, yeah, that's exciting. That'll be something cool for us to do. And money that is being there is being money set aside, a little bit of money for each monthly open that's being set aside to go towards the championship pot at the end of the year. So the past 2 opens, we've been able to set aside $60, so $120 combined so far. So it'll be $180 after this one that will be sent to the FKBT Championship Fund for this coming year. So that's exciting. That's another way for us to be able to raise money to put back into your guys' experience at the championship this year. So yeah, you guys have any questions about the monthly? Again, congratulations, Doug, on a fantastic back-to-back months, and looking forward to kicking off September. Yes, Robert, Todd, Robert has a question for you.
We're working on it.
Yes.
We are working on it. I am literally working on it. There is it won't be long before I'll have something set up for you.
Yeah, we're working with a company that does the professional jerseys for a lot of the MLF and the Bassmaster Elite Series. They're top notch. They're going to provide us. They've provided us with 3 templates with where we can do logo placements, but also reserve logo. You guys will be able to reserve logo placements for your own individual sponsors as well. We reached out to ask if you guys would be able to select your own jersey, like pattern, color as well, and style. So if you wanted the hoodie, the zip, whatever style you want for your jersey, we're waiting back to hear if that's an option that you guys will have as well. I don't see there being an issue with it, but we're waiting to hear back from the manufacturer on what limitations we have as a club or what limitations you guys have as anglers when building out your own tournament jerseys as well. Because yes, they're FKBT and the FKBT sponsors, but you're going to get to I know Feel Free, Mondo, I know a bunch of you guys have individual sponsors. This is your opportunity to have them on that as well and represent them in the same capacity. So more to come. It should be, Todd, do you have like an estimated timeline on when we should be able to put orders in?
I will have the layout on the jerseys hopefully done next week.
Okay.
Finished
cool.
up.
And then we'll send those out.
And then from that point, we're just waiting on the company, to let us know the little things that you reached out to them and asked. So.
Yeah, and then also, so whenever we send that link out to you guys to purchase or to submit your order for the jerseys, you guys will have to follow a certain format. Whenever you guys need to have the vector image or the AI image of all of your sponsors. So to kind of expedite that process, Whenever you guys want to purchase or submit your order, make sure you guys do have the appropriate file image or the images in the, what's the right term for that, Todd? The formatting.
Yeah, it's a vector format is what most everybody needs. I'll have to double check on there, but they may be able to allow us to get away with a high res PNG with a transparent background. Sometimes that will work okay, but
yeah, but definitely just go ahead and be on the try to get all those images formatted properly, so whenever the time does come, you guys will be able to get your order in as soon as possible, so you guys can get your jerseys delivered.
Yeah.
We're working it as diligently as possible. It's just trying to get everything squared away, and we've been doing a lot to get the season kicked off. We're 6 weeks out, so it's crunch time, and we're doing our best to get with you or to get you guys that jersey. Also, Todd, we're gonna be working on FKBT shirts, the A4 shirts that you see Todd or Sean wearing, as well as the hats. If you guys are interested in dry fit FKBT, just regular shirt, sport shirt, you guys can reach out to Todd, and we can get an order placed here in the coming weeks so that we can have them ready to be distributed at the first event. So if that's something you're interested in, Todd can make a post on the members only page on hat orders and long sleeve or short sleeve A4 shirt orders.
yeah, I still have probably 3 or 4 still left over from the championship. So I do have those already in stock, but we can also do some newer, new ones, various colors, whatever colors that they want, as long as it's in stock. On the shirts, we can do, the regular long sleeve shirts. We can do short sleeve shirts. We can do long sleeve hooded shirts. We can do short sleeve hooded shirts. And we can also do the hooded fleece, if you want some for when the weather starts getting a little bit cooler. So
yeah, we're going to get an order. We'll get an order going. If you guys are interested in that, reach out to Todd on our members only page, or he can, if you want to put your email in there, Todd, so where they can in the comment section, they can email you or message you directly so that we can get an order started for that. As well as we're getting stickers for the bump boards made. We're getting the 100-inch stickers made as well for the 2 individuals who reached the 100-inch mark in tournaments last year, as well as just FKBT stickers in general that we handed out this past year. We'll also be handing out some of those at the first event and throughout the year to members.
We're going to be doing new identifier cards. And so one thing that we're doing on those is they're going to be a little bit different this year than last year. We're going to have a bigger area, and we're looking to see if we can get, one sponsor for the ID cards that would be willing to sponsor them this year, so that we would have our FKBT logo on there and the sponsor's logo, and then have a bigger area to be able to write our numbers, our codes on there. So I think that would be nice. Even though the ones this past year were really nice, we'll still be able to use those. But we're going to do some new ones that will have more room where you could write a bigger number or multiple numbers on it.
Yeah. Yep. That'll be a little streamlined and a little less cluttered this year. So.
Did you say clutter?
Cluttered. Yeah.
Oh.
he's out saving the city right now. So yeah, that is new to come. More to come on that. They will be handed out at the first event, the Fellsmere and Stickmarsh event. Kind of similar how it was last year. And if you're new and you didn't participate last year, myself, Todd, and Sean and Chris Clutter will be there. We'll all have the identifiers in hand. Again, you're more than happy to utilize last year's identifier. So if you have that, it's not the end of the world. You can still use that throughout the remainder of the year. But being as it's mandatory check-in at the end of the event, there's going to be a mandatory check-in location at the end of each event this year. We will be able to hand out those identifiers. Everyone should have an identifier that participates in the first event by the end of the event when you check in. There's going to be someone there that'll hand it to you if you didn't get it before the tournament started, and then so on and so forth throughout the year. So if you're interested in that, in shirts and stuff of that as well, we'll have those at the meetups at the end of each event, so you guys can purchase those. We're going to have FKBT shirts for sale at each event, and the money raised for that is going to be going towards the championship as well for this year. So what you got, Sean?
No, I was just going to say for that first event, I know that we're going to be planning to be in both locations, but it'll definitely be this year on Fellsmere Stick Marsh. There'll be at least one of us up at the Stick Marsh boat ramp up by the kayak launch on Fellsmere, and one of us will be at the main boat ramp on Headwaters / Fellsmere. Yeah. So definitely, I'll definitely be down at the Headwaters main boat ramp, and I'm assuming I know where Bailey's going to go, so he's going to be up at the Stick Marsh Headwaters kayak launch, either launching in one of those bodies of water. So
maybe not.
Yeah, but after that, like on to the next event, like most of us usually head up. One of us or both of us usually head up early to the events. So if we can link up with you like the Friday before, if we all decide to link up and go to dinner Friday night. But come Saturday morning of the second event and moving forward, if you're not at the same boat ramp, we're not gonna bounce around boat ramp to boat ramp trying to get identifiers out to those who were unable to make it to the first event. So definitely, if you're at one of the two ramps on the first event, you're going to get an identifier. But after that, we'll just have to figure out link ups for any other events for any new anglers that come on board or have not fished previous events. We'll figure out a way. Normally we're out Friday night getting dinner or something, and we can all link up. So
yeah, so what we're gonna do is I have everyone's email that's a member of the club. When I email out the rules to all the members, making sure all the members have access to the rules, there's no excuse for that. I'm going to be sending out with that rules a Word template to where you guys can print out that identifier. Yes, you will get a PVC one that we're going to be giving you guys that floats. But in the event that you can, or you're not at the same boat ramp at us for whatever reason, you will have that option to print those out and put those in your own little protective, like identifier card holder. So there should be no reason why you don't have the appropriate identifier for the first event. You guys will have that well in advance. 10 tag identifier. We haven't reached out to those guys. We did PVC last year and it worked out well. So that's where we went this. It's more cost effective and it's free to you guys. So instead of you having to pay $19 for a 10 tag, with the money that was some of your guys' for the registration fee, we use some of that money to purchase these identifiers so that you guys don't have to pay for them out of pocket. But yeah, Brian, what's up, man? Yeah, you can go back and watch this if you missed anything leading up to this. But if you wanted to have a 10 tag created, you can always reach out to that guy. Just make sure that the image and everything is the same as what we have authorized as the official tournament tag for the event. So real quick, we're just going to go over any questions so far before we dive into some of the rule updates that we're going to cover again very briefly, just so that everyone watching or may not have watched the previous lives kind of can see where the club's heading and what some of those rules changes were for the upcoming season. So I don't see any questions popping up, so I'll go ahead and kind of get started on the rules. So the first thing that we're going to talk about and address is the elephant in the room is when pre-fishing is going to end this year. There was some talk, I wouldn't say controversy, but there was some talk and some concerns about some of the pre-fishing requirement. So what we did is we left it up to the members of the club to vote on what they felt was the appropriate call on when pre-fishing should end. And it was let me pull it up just so that I'm not throwing anything out there, some nonsense.
It's pretty much a landslide.
It was a landslide. So we had, let's see, we had 20 votes for pre-fishing ending the Sunday at 8 p.m. prior to the week prior to the event. That took the majority of the votes, so that is when pre-fishing is going to end. It will be pre-fishing in Sunday at 8 p.m. the week prior to that event. That's going to be exciting. I think that's good. I think it's a good call. It's not one that's going to be permanent. Next year we can look at it and after we see results, after we see the results of this year, and kind of how the fishing goes in the tournament, it's always a good thing to kind of give the lakes a little rest before going out there and pounding them on Saturday. So hopefully this benefits us as anglers in the long run, to where everyone that comes out and participates in our events has a great chance at catching their limit. But again, it is called fishing, not catching, so you do got to go out there and try to catch those fish. So it isn't going to be 100% guaranteed you're going to catch a limit each time, but we're doing our best to make sure that you guys are. There's some recoil there. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, there's rain, so I didn't know if I was messed up. So yeah, we're just doing our best. Again, the members spoke, and that's what the rules have changed to. So, you guys want to add anything to that?
I'm good with it. I rarely get to pre-fish anyway, so it doesn't make a difference if I got to fish all the way up till Saturday morning, Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it levels the field out for everybody. Everyone has an equal opportunity to fish that last weekend. So I think it'll be a good opportunity and a good thing for the sport. So we'll see. We appreciate you guys participating in that, and there will be more posts and polls for you guys to participate in that can kind of dictate the way things are going for the 2024 season. Christopher Lindsay, where can I read over FKBT rules and Coast Guard requirements? I really need to make sure I'm okay. Yeah, so we are finalizing the rules. So you should see something. You will see something here in the next week and a half. You can look up the United States Coast Guard requirements on the internet. There's no secret to it. Based off of your specific kayak rule, there's certain rules and regulations if you're operating a motor or if you're just strictly pedal. The one requirement that the club is saying that you do have to have is a 360 white light, and if you're operating and flag, yellow flag or orange flag, not yellow, orange flag. And then if you're operating with a motor, you will have to have red and green navigational lights. So again, regardless if you're operating with a motor or not, you will need a 360 white light and a high vis orange flag flown on your kayak. For the flag needs to be flown from lines in to lines out. That white 360 light needs to be on during low light hours and periods of low visibility. So once it's daylight, there's no fog, and you're completely visible, you can take that white light off, but your flag still has to be flown, and that same goes for the navigational lights. Jonathan Ellingwood, when are we going to 2 motors? That is not up for discussion at the moment. Whenever the United States Coast Guard approves kayaks to be operated with 2 motors, then we can start to talk the 2 motors on a kayak. But as of right now, there's very little kayaks being made that can support 2 motors. And there's one that just it still hasn't even been approved or blessed by the United States Coast Guard at the moment to be operating 2 motors, so legally. So yeah. hopefully that answers your questions. I mean, hopefully one day we do get to the opportunity for us to be able to run 2 motors, but at this moment we're going to be sticking with 1 until we get further guidance. Yeah, so yeah, the Titan X will possibly be the first. When we were at ICAST, it was not approved yet. It was in the process. When we spoke to the folks over at Titan or Native Watercraft, they were still in the process on getting that boat approved by the United States Coast Guard. So until we see documentation and everyone in the club is in compliance, then we can talk about potentially changing that. Yep. So what are we just going to talk about? Hopefully, Christopher Lindsay, that answered your questions, but you will be getting an email from me in a couple weeks with the official 2024 rules.
Yeah, catch board only, Brian. Catch carbonate, catch X, not good.
The original, the original catch board, the carbonate, the aluminum, and all of those.
Brian, if your buddy needs one, your friend needs one, get in contact with me, and I have a couple extras that I'd be willing to part with if he needs one. We always bring them to the tournaments in case someone forgets them or loses one. A bunch of us anglers always bring extras with us in our truck or on our kayak in the event, one sinks or you lose it or break it or something. So just reach out to one of us, and we'll get you taken care of for the measuring device. So yes, a lot of our folks have extras. So just reach out on the members only page, and I'm sure someone will be able to help assist your friend with a catch board. So real quick, another thing that we're going to pull up here is, Todd, if you want, we'll go ahead and kind of talk about some photo submissions, some do's and don'ts. So right here, if you guys, I'll let Todd kind of go to the first. Okay. This is a don't. This is not a picture that you guys are going to want to submit. Real quick, something that's wrong with this photo is it is not directly over the fish, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a lot of issues with, well, not a lot, but some issues. And it's not just, in our tournaments, it's in every tournament. A lot of these, come from tournaments that I have judged. And it just makes it hard to really get an accurate judge on the fish. So, one of the things that we're going to really require is a straight overhead camera shot of the fish and bump board. No angle views. If you're too far to the left or too far to the right, your fish is subject to be disqualified. If it's too far back, it's subject to be disqualified. So always be sure to get really, really good photos from overhead.
Also, you can tell that catch board is dirty, right? So right where that tail is laying, you're going to see a bunch of blood or whatever on there. If the judge can't see what that increment is, you get deductions. And if that falls below the minimum requirement for the 12-inch requirement, then that fish gets disqualified as well. So make sure your boards are cleaned, and the judges are not obstructing those increment marks with grass, blood, whatever it is.
Yeah, just one of the things to do, and this is what I've told some of the other guys, and I will be honest, it's the original boards. When they get really dirty, they are very, very, very hard to read. Just get a toothbrush and clean your board, before the season if you haven't done it in a while, because a lot of dirt collects in there, a lot of slime. A lot of you boys catch a lot of fish and slime them boards up. So just get a little toothbrush and go through it and clean it up real good.
Yep.
All right. Next, what's wrong with this photo? Well,
can't see the fence.
As you can tell, you can't see the fence on it. So we can't really tell 100% whether that mouth is bumped up next to the board. I mean, yeah, it probably pretty much is, but is the mouth cracked? Is it really touching the board or not? So if you don't have the full bump board in there, your fish will get DQ'd. What's wrong with this one? Little Debbie fish don't slime it much. Well, they do, David, whenever they flop all over that board. You know, the little ones are harder to picture than the other ones.
So that one there has a shadow where the mouth is perceived to be touching the fence.
And also on this one, if you know, there's no contrasting label or mark on the board where you can tell, you know, to differentiate where that mouth is touching. So, you know, that's one of the other reasons why we're going to the rule of having some kind of contrasting mark on the fence of the bump board so that you can tell, you know, whether the mouth is touching, the lips are touching or not. Also, I don't know how many guys on here have black catch boards, but coming from a judging side of things, they are absolutely one of the hardest ones to judge. And the reason for that is, you know, you've got the tail fin that may be right at that mark of touching the line or not. It's hard to tell, to differentiate, you know, the black in the tail and the black on the board. So just a FYI for some of you guys, if y'all are using black ones, I would highly suggest getting a different color because it could end up hurting you down the road.
And yes, the identifier had a glare on it. If our judges cannot read that identifier, that fish will be automatically disqualified. Doesn't even matter about the bump board or the fence with the contrasting mark. If our judges can't read the code, automatic DQ.
Okay, on this one, guess what? We can't read the, you know, part of the tail's cut off. He doesn't have it all in the photo. And the way the glare and everything is on his board, you can't read any of the numbers. So as a judge, you can't even tell what size that fish is to confirm it. So just be sure you're getting really good photos centered up on there. What's wrong with this one, Bailey?
It's not an approved device.
Absolutely. So one
there's
is it's not
a few
approved.
things wrong with this photo, but the hog trough is the number one.
Yes. No contrasting mark. Don't even have the lines done on it. And, you know, and the zipper's down. So
we'll address that one. But yes, all in all. All right.
All right.
What about this one?
What's wrong with this one, Sean?
That glare.
The glare, man. You can't read it.
It's not over.
Yeah. I mean,
it's barely. It accounts.
Yeah, that's the overhead shot. That's probably a reasonable angle, but that glare makes it super difficult for the judges to identify the numbers. So.
Absolutely.
What that is.
It's tough. All right, let's see what we got next here. Oh, what's wrong with this one?
Nothing. It's fantastic.
That's a beautiful picture right there. Perfect overhead, you know, mouth touching. You got contrasting mark. You can see the identifier. Everything is perfect on this picture.
Chris Mitchell, we appreciate you, and Nathaniel Holly.
Yeah. How about this one?
Not to interrupt, but Doug, I'm questioning. I don't know. Is that fish really 28 inches? I don't know. Yeah, I'm just curious. Just curious.
If they had a catch board, you could really tell better, you know. But on this one, you know, this is another example of a really good photo and hand placement. You know, we do allow hand placements, but if you got a hand placement that's up here over the eyes, under the gill plate, or touching the tail, it's going to get DQ'd. So
I agree, Doug. I agree.
Yeah, so really good. And a lot of our guys and girls that participate in our club, you guys are doing the right thing. There's a few where in the monthlies where we've had some had to DQ a couple for mouth being open. Make sure the mouth is completely closed. If the mouth is cracked,
half-inch deduction.
A half-inch deduction. So if the mouth is cracked, it's a half-inch deduction, and then if the mouth is completely open and you didn't even try to close the mouth, it's an automatic DQ. If there was no attempt made at trying to close the fish's mouth, the judges are going to automatically just disqualify that fish. But if there's a crack, that's going to be a 1/2 inch deduction. So make sure you're paying attention, getting those photos, take multiple photos, make sure everything is right, and make sure you guys are submitting the best possible photos so these judges aren't having any issues or having to contact you guys while you're out on the water. Again, we didn't have a lot of issues this past season. I think very few, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And the issues we did have were able to be corrected on the spot, and no anglers were really, had any disqualifications or deductions made. So continue on with that. I know we got some new anglers that are joining the club this year, so this might be their first time doing a CPR style format. So if you guys have questions, comments, or concerns on what any tips or tricks that we may have that will help you, reach out to us, or just quite frankly, put a post on our members only page. Hey, what are some pointers or advice that you guys can give to a new angler starting out on how to submit the appropriate or the correct fish?
Yeah, I mean, and the comments. I mean, some of the comments, like Doug put the big one, like angling your board. That's the number one in my opinion. Wetting your board, and you'll see like on Fellsmere, our first event / stick marsh. If you're on Fellsmere, you're going to have about 6 billion gnats on there, and you got to rinse them all off. And if it's hot, if you throw a fish on a hot board, immediately they're going to want to flop off. So wetting the board and angling the board, probably the number two ways to get a good photo and a shot of that fish. So, and
let them rest a minute. Let them rest in your net. Let them rest on some fish grips. They'll calm down that way.
But practice. If you guys are new to tournament fishing in the kayaks, definitely the fish submission and the photo is probably the hardest thing to really get down. Fishing's easy, but it's getting to take a good picture of your fish before it flops in the water is key. So putting a net in front of the bump board or in front of your catch board when you're submitting your fish is could help help keep your fish from jumping into the water and you losing it. So take some precautionary measures like that and potentially save you from losing that fish. So that is the photo submission piece that we wanted to address. Or is there any other rules or anything else that we need to address that might have changed?
No,
I'm going to make a quick guide on all of the rule updates that we made for this year that were different from last year. And I will post those on the members only page as well as just like a quick reference guide as well.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know if it's been updated yet. I don't know if it's not completely locked in, but for the 2 events that are going to be co-hosted, we're going to run an event in conjunction with Florida Kayak Bass Nation. The date, what it's looking like right now, we'll let you know for sure. For Northwest, I know Matt let us know the dates it's probably going to be April 27th on Lake Seminole. That's going to be ran in conjunction with Florida Bass Nation Northwest. So that's going to be another AOI and championship qualifying event. And we're working with, I believe, Northeast.
Yeah, so I'm working with Will Gresham. He's also a member of the FKBT, but he's also the tournament director for the Northeast region of the Florida Bass Nation Kayak Series. We spoke at Gunnersville this past weekend, and he wants us to team up with him on where, Sean? Do you know?
I'm assuming it's that 2 bodies of water that connect. I forget the name of it.
It's called the St. John's River.
Oh, the St. John's River? I'm down.
Yeah. So
I'm down. Between Astor and
Yeah, so the Northeast wants us to had asked if we would like to do a dual event with them on the St. John's River. That's a huge body of water. It's a great fishery. And I'm still working the date with him on that. But as far as right now, the Northwest and the Northeast region, it's going to be Lake Seminole and the St. John's River, which are both phenomenal fisheries during the times that we're going to be fishing them. So more to come on both of those events. We're going to bring on Matt Vogt and Will Gresham at some point this year to talk about the collaboration between those two both these clubs, and then potentially, seeing what we can do a little bit further on in the year to give you guys another opportunity to compete and collab with the Central Florida Bass Nation. But more to come. As of right now, confirmed, we got 2 events that we are going to open up to be AOY and championship qualification events. So on top of our already, what is it, 7? We have 7.
7. Yeah.
So that will be 8 and 9 opportunities, and then there'll hopefully be a 10th. So you'll have 10 opportunities from October till April. October to April. You're going to have 10 events, regular season events, that are going to give you the opportunity to capture your best 5 towards Angler of the Year in the championship. So that's 50%. We told you guys this year we're going to step it up. We're going to give you guys 10 events this year, 10 opportunities on 10 different bodies of water to earn your way into the Angler of the Year and your championship. Big news again. Reached out with Van Hunks reached back out to me last week while I was at Guntersville. They are going to continue their Angler of the Year sponsorship, but they're also going to go a step further because of how well we did this past year, and they are going to be able to support us. We're trying to figure out the details, but at each event, they're going to be at some form or level of sponsorship for each event to where we can give back to you guys as well. So that's awesome. We're excited to have Van Hunks continue that sponsorship. And we got a bunch of other great sponsors that have hopped on board with this year as well, and some others that we're still working. We're just waiting for them to finish their 24 fiscal year funding requests. So once, sorry, Sean.
No, I was going to say, some of the stuff is already starting to come in. Like, we brought on Ego Fishing, great opportunity to work with them. Their championship package has already arrived, so we have 2 different products, pretty good products, or pretty awesome products actually, that are going to be given away at the championship weekend. So that stuff's slowly starting to come in.
Yeah.
And we just had Torrin on here pop in.
Hey, John.
We appreciate John there.
The Torrent Bait Outdoor Striker 4.0 was my bait up at Guntersville. I gave him a shout out. It was.
Yeah, Ego Fishing. I'm looking at getting a new net. Mine is garbage. I don't really need nets with the fish I catch, so I might just keep not have it anymore. But yeah, John, we're gonna bring John back on our podcast. He came on last year and introduced some of his baits to the club. He reached out and he's got some new product that is in the works. I'm not sure if it's done yet or what, but whenever it is, John, reach back out to us. We love to bring you guys back on and showcase some of your product, because we're about to place a big order. If you guys don't know, last year, pretty much at the end of, once Torrent came on board, at the end of every event, we were handing out his baits for you guys to try. That isn't just because he gave them to us; we purchased them as well. But they're fantastic baits. The Striker 4.0 is a great trailer bait, and then also the Thresher.
The swim baits are phenomenal.
Swim bait. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, is perfect for a trailer on your spinner bait, just a underweighted belly hook. But yeah, we're going to be excited to have John back on so he can show some different rigging techniques for some of his new product that he has coming out. And it's hitting stores all over the country. I know that they just opened up a store that his baits are going to be in. So that's awesome. We're excited to have him on as well for this year.
But yeah, again, I know Curtis hit it up again. Ego Fishing, designed for the savvy angler for sure. I'll give a shout out to the boys of the Southern Slayers who clinched a championship spot in the KBT championship. We're a mixture of Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and yeah, so the guys crushed it this weekend up at Guntersville. Ego is also a great sponsor for the Slayers. So give a shout out to those guys. Tell them congrats. And go ahead.
So congratulations, Slayers. You guys were phenomenal. Thank you guys for letting me come up there and stay with you, stay with the team at your guys' house up in Guntersville. It's fantastic. just amazing folks. And that donkeys too. We had the donkeys and the slayers at that
Yeah,
house. So
for
thanks
sure.
Russ for allowing us to kind of to stay with you.
Yeah, he's
Daryl,
been picking us
Harrelson,
up all year. So
will the pre-fishing rule be different for the two events? I'm assuming you're talking about the events that we're collaborating with Kayak Bass, the Florida Kayak Bass Nation. Yes, we are working out the details on the rules specifically for those two events. So once those get ironed out with the tournament directors, with all the tournament directors and everyone involved, rules will be established for those and pushed out to the registered anglers to make sure that you guys are tracking, as well as at the captain's meeting. We'll make sure to address all of those rules. But we're also, whenever we talk with the Florida Kayak Bass Nation, we bring them on. We will talk about those. We'll have that ironed out so you guys know well in advance what those requirements are for those two events.
yeah, so specifically for that, I mean, if you're, it's also an opportunity for you guys to double dip. I know Florida Bass Nation's kind of established or kind of talk about their rules coming into the next year for how you qualify in each region, or you fish their, I think it's their open region specifically, their open events where you're not tied to a region. So if you want to fish that Bass Nation event, specifically, you have to be a Bass Nation member, Florida Kayak Bass Nation member to fish their event.
And
you
a
have to
bass
be
member.
And and a bass member and a FKBT member to fish our event. So
Yeah.
we'll clarify, but go ahead.
Yeah, so we'll put all the requirements for you to be able to double dip. We'll have Matt vote, and Will Gresham post all the standards that you need, or all of the limitations you need in order to sign up and participate in that bass event as well. I know last year, whenever I've signed up, my initial with my bass membership fee, the Florida Kayak Bass Nation fee, and all the $60 in the tournament fee that included big bass, I think it ended up being like 160 something bucks for the first event, and then after that it's just the $60. So the initial ended up being like around 150, 160 bucks. I don't know exactly sure, but after that, just like any of our events, it was like 60 bucks, 50 or $60 including big bass for that event. So, but we'll get you guys all the information you need in order to be good to compete in both of those events on those bodies of water. So, is the rain kind of too loud for me, or can y'all not hear it?
You're good. You're good.
Okay.
You're fine.
Cool. All right.
So again, before we go, anybody that's on here, we are looking for a sole sponsor to sponsor our ID cards for this year. So if anybody has anybody that would like to do that, have them hit me up, let me know. I've left my email in the chat bar, so y'all can just reach out to me and let me know, and I'll follow up with them. But we would like to do that for this year. That would give them a lot of images all over Fishing Chaos and so forth, because every fish that's caught and put out there throughout the year will have their logo on it.
Yeah. And then real quick before we go, I would like to highlight the anglers that qualify for the 2024 KBF National Championship. I know that I made a post on our social media pages, but if you guys didn't get an opportunity to see that post, I would like to go ahead and fill you guys in on who those anglers are. Let me pull it up real quick, and I will hold on. I'll pull it up. Sorry. I thought I had it already. I thought I had it up already. All right. So, and I got one more thing too before we go. Where did it go? Hold on. Okay, right here. So the 2024 KBF National Championship qualifiers for the FKBT for the 2024 is Thomas Woodring, Christopher Harrelson, Conrad Benetti, Chris Mitchell, Nathaniel Holly, Scott Gibbons, Lloyd Hardy, John Fennell, Christopher Bailey, Logan Ignis, Sean Woody Woodham, John Fox, Todd Quillen, Sherman Bishop, Chris Clutter, Christopher Parker, Robert Phillips, David Myers, Fred Anderson, and Sean Spears.
Woo!
Okay? Those are your 2024 KBF National Championship qualifiers. If that's something that you guys are interested in, please go like and follow Chad Hoover's page. Again, I said the 2024 National Championship. He is holding off until next year. The upcoming championship is on Lake Gunnersville and Lake Wheeler. That's October 19th through the 21st. That is your Challenge Series championship and your Trail Series championship. So you're qualifying for that would have to be through the Challenge Series, or if you competed in the Trail Series as well. So you guys make sure you guys are looking over the qualification standards for those two events. If you qualify to get up there and represent the great state of Florida and the Florida Kayak Bass Trail on Gunnersville and Wheeler, not this coming month, but in October. So again, congratulations. If you guys are interested, next year we will be sending we will be following those same top 5 in AOY points, and top 3 in any regular season event is a qualifier for you to get into the 2024 National Championship. So, yeah, just more to come, and follow Chad Hoover on his upcoming events for the remainder of the year. And also, I do not want to forget this deadline for the FKBT registration for you to receive the 13 fishing discount is when? Tonight at midnight. So we are sending a list to 13 Fishing tomorrow for all the anglers or members who are currently signed up in the Florida Kayak Bass Trail. Right now, the last I looked, we were at 44 anglers were signed up for the 2024 season. So those 44 names are the ones that are going to be sent to 13 Fishing so you guys can get that discount. Again, you will receive an email from 13 Fishing, not from the Florida Kayak Bass Trail. I repeat this. You will be receiving an email from 13 Fishing on how to set up your account and activate your account. So, not sure how long it's going to take them to go through and create those accounts, but make sure that you guys check your junk email or check your inbox frequently for that 13 Fishing email. I'm going to ask them if they could a notification saying, hey, all accounts have been created. You will see an email from me saying, hey, 13 Fishing accounts have been created. Check your emails so you can get your account registered and activated so you can start purchasing your rods and reels and baits that you need for the 2024 season. I'm not going to post on here what the exact discount is, but you will receive an email. All members will receive an email stating on what that exact discount is. It's a little different from last year, but not huge. Not a huge difference, but you guys will get to utilize that and benefit from that discount if you sign up early. Doesn't say if you sign up after the 31st, you're still going to get a lot of the amazing club discounts and deals and discount codes that all of our other sponsors have awarded us. But for 13 Fishing, they've requested that we only send one list this year to eliminate and kind of cut down on some of the confusion that happened last year in the process of setting up everyone's accounts. Cool. Any questions? We're right at that hour mark, which is where we wanted to be for this live broadcast. So with no other questions, or if you do have questions, reach out to myself, Sean, or Todd, or drop a comment in this this thread here. We will get back to you with whatever questions you may have. So shout out to our sponsors. For those of you that don't know, we got 13 Fishing.
Did he freeze up?
He is froze. So Torn Outdoors, Dakota Lithium, Strike King,
Van Hunks. Is everybody freezing up
Van
right now?
Hunks,
Hey guys, I lost power. So sorry.
Tokido is on board this year. Yak Attack, Road Gear, Ego Fishing, Cross Kicks, new one, Spear Point Performance Hooks. Did I miss anyone?
You missed Todd Quilco Printing. The number one sponsor of FKBT, killing it with products for the club. We always brag on Todd, but Todd does a lot and brings a lot to the club. So always a good shout out to Todd. But Spear Point
Appreciate
hook,
that.
if you haven't tried them, definitely try them. Bailey, you good?
And I know Robert put on here Wicked Weights, but I haven't heard from them this year, so I'm not sure unless you guys have. I haven't heard from Wicked Weights yet.
Yeah, we're still pending contact with them, Todd.
Okay, cool. Awesome, guys. Well, you fellas have a great night. Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe if you're out on the water. And if you are, catch some big ones. Let's see them. Post them up on the Facebook page. And with that, I'll end the broadcast. Have a good one, fellas. See ya.
Take care.